Ka pai raro mai anō ki tēnei pāpāhotanga whakaata Māori e whakapāhana I te tōmiri o tēnei pāpāhotanga. We had a bit of, I'd say, weather issues here down in Taupō, which is why we are a bit delayed on the broadcast as well. And also, well, today we have Wellington College playing against Selwyn College.
Absolutely. So this is the, having moved away from pool play, we're now starting to get into some of our bracket work. And so this is what we have here for you. You have Wellington College on offense at the moment, playing out of the light coloured shirts. Selwyn College with a nice intercept finds Van Dalen in the midfield, looking to continue. My name, as always, is Blair Munro.
My name is Shikoni Hakaraya-Turner.
And this is the Aotearoa Secondary Schools Ultimate Championships here in Taupō. Now, with the weather being as changeable as it has been, we've had a little bit of wind throughout the day, which has settled down quite a lot. We had some really heavy rain towards the end of our previous match between Selwyn's girls team in the women's division and Rototuna. So we're going to see a nice early take there by Pitts, the captain for Selwyn, to put them on the board. They are currently up by 1. A good start to that early point. Things being a little bit shaky. They've kind of a few turns, a few maybe execution errors. But I think now that, fingers crossed, that the rain has stopped, we're going to start to see things dry out just enough that those teams no longer have to take into account the conditions.
Although in saying that with the conditions, I assume Selwyn would have to change up their strategy a little bit since the last time we saw them. The ground is still quite wet, and so would the Frisbee as well. So, karereke rānei ngā rautaki. Will they have to adjust their strategy a little bit? We'll soon see anyways.
And it's one of those things, Jacoby, that like it's at two levels. Not only do you have to adjust the team strategy, but each individual player also has to kind of adjust for themselves. Hey, the ground's a little slippery. My first step, if I really power it, am I going to push some mud? Am I going to slip up? Similarly with regards to catching, hey, do I need to position myself a little bit better? Do I need to change the way that I'm cutting in order to give myself a better chance of getting both hands to the disc? So there's those levels to which those adjustments happen, and we're going to see whether or not these teams can make those adjustments in the early stages of the game. We're seeing Bartlett with a nice cross opening cut. Fantastic work by Jenkins to generate the turn, giving Van Dalen the disc, who puts a nice chippy little blade over. Jenkins going to put that one away. Selwyn going up by 2.
Selwyn having a good start there to the game in the first few minutes. Nice, some good play there. Just having a few substitutions there from Selwyn College.
And again, we're hitting the end of what has been a long day. We've had 5 games coverage, so there's 5 rounds of games that have been playing. These teams have been working really, really hard. And the same energy and vitality that we would have seen from them, the same big athletic plays earlier on in the day, they're starting to be a little bit subdued. It's fantastic to watch how not only the teams adjust their strategy to conserve energy even towards the end of a day, but also how they start to work a little bit better and take the pressure off each other through their timing, through their cuts, through the decisions that they make. Pitts to pick up for Selwyn, hoping to go 3, puts a big hammer up, but it's peeling back towards the far sideline. Still taken down nice and comfortably for Selwyn to go up yet again. I do not think that was his intended receiver.
It doesn't look like it, does it?
And so again, right, we talked a little bit earlier, Ciccone, about the flight of that hammer throw. So as a right-handy, it's going to come across to his left and then peel back towards the right. I think he might have been shooting for Van Dalen sort of over here, but you can see that as the disc turned over early and peeled back towards that left-hand side, it's really good to know that he has that kind of extra security.
Yes, koia te hua o te e whitiki taua e hoa mai. That's the benefits of having backup there in the end zone.
Absolutely. All right, so Van Dalen's got the disc. Selwyn up by 3 in a game of 50 minutes. We are pushing to 15 or 50 minutes, whichever comes first. we are going to have Wellington College on offense. Van Dalen puts up the big kumen, nice and high, big amount of float, pushing all the way to the end zone. And it's touchdown, and that's caught Wellington College a little bit on the back foot. They all pushed further infield relative to where the disc touched down, so they had to get back into position. It's not slowing them down that much.
Awesome take there. Kiroto hoki. Selwyn able to keep it in. Tirohia taua, phew. Yeah, that is not a pass we've seen here today. Keeping things interesting, that's for sure.
Honestly, 10 out of 10 for everything.
Yes, 100%. Nice defensive structure here. Pai te arai, Maya Selwyn.
The sun is coming out nice and right, starting to help things drive. We're going to see what impact that has on these two teams. Here to shut it down. Fakes the hammer. Fakes the backhand. Boulevard to Van Dalen, goes back to Pitts. Another hammer attempt.
Oh, just missing it. Te pātata hoki, almost had it.
Yeah, just great bid too, right? The athleticism, the putting the body on the line. Well taken down. Coppin for Wellington College.
Rau e te araitanga I konei mai te kuro o Selwyn. Ka rau e hoki. Ka kare no kia piro.
Such a good attempt to jump that one in.
Yes.
Not quite there, but he's able to put it on the board. Wellington now 1 against Selwyn College's 3.
And that's good awareness too from the other players that realise that he didn't quite make it in the end zone, but still continuing with play as well.
That's exactly, as you said, Ciccone, like, it's that importance of having that backup, right? Seeing where the momentum is going and then making that additional cut. Hey, once I get off the ground, the defense is going to set up on me. I need an opening. I need an option. And it's having that trust in the teammates to provide that option for them. So now we get to see Wellington come out on defense.
E te tari ana rata kia whakariterite a Selwyn.
Simons to pick up that same blue bucket hat again. Nice little around break there. Tried to find Boulevard, wasn't able to get him. Straight through the outstretched arms of the bidding Macaulay. Couldn't pull that one down, but great awareness, a great attempt. Oh.
Te pātata hoki, so close, almost had it.
See, this is where we start to see the importance of the weather, right?
Yeah.
Things settling in, teams needing to adapt. We've seen Pitts do some fantastic things, but not able to get that possession. Is going to give the disc back to Wellington College, who are able to throw a quick 1-2 combo to get it into the end zone and bring it back to a 1-point game. See it happen again. Hitting that nice curve around the outside shoulder of Jones. And it's one of those things that kind of helps to split apart the different levels of ultimate. When you're on defense and you're really tracking your player, whether or not you're just chasing them around or whether you're trying to keep an eye on what the threat is, what throws are currently available to the thrower. Is the person that I'm following, is the cut that they're making viable? Taking all those pieces of information in can make the huge difference when it comes to making some of those plays.
Rawe tau aku me, te teitei o tau aku me. Going out of touch though.
Nice.
Rawe te whiu I kono. One pass.
Yeah, beautiful work there by Selwyn to widen up that game a little bit more.
And also a great take there too from Selwyn's captain.
Good to see that one again. McIver coming in on the near sideline. A nice long backhand.
Beautiful execution.
And the patience as well. I think Pitts probably could have attacked that disc a little bit earlier, but if he had, his first point of contact would have been outside of the end zone.
Yeah.
And so he'd then have to wait for the rest of his team to catch up. And sometimes it can be that balancing act of how soon do I want to attack this? How close is my defender to me? I think Pitts was in a really great position there. He didn't have a defender hot on his shoulder, so he didn't need to worry about that early attack and then think about the second pass, able to close that out really nicely, which is fantastic to see. Marum.
Rawe te whakamahinga I te whira whānui hoki. Good to see that they're using the width of the field. And it's not too bunched there either.
Which is, again, it's one of those things that we're going to have seen improve over the course of the day as well.
Awesome defensive pressure there from Selwyn. Me te haukuti hoki. Awesome intercept there
Beautiful.
from Wellington College.
Yeah, great two-touch there to secure it, right? The first one just to get it out of the range of the receiver. Then second attempt to make sure that it hits the turf. Marum puts it long. Couldn't find Coppin. Putting the shot up. Everyone's underneath it. Great work to find that right spot. Macaulay goes up with the one hand.
Beautiful take there from Wellington College. One-handed and was imuia katoa I ngā kaiarai, surrounded by defenders.
Yeah, we're going to get to see that one again. So great read here. And I think it's about sort of the positioning on the field lets them sort of see where the disc is going to be. If you're right underneath, it's a little bit harder to track, which I think is why Wellington College were able to get away with that intercept here. See that again? Jones being right underneath it. It's much harder for him to be able to make the right decision. They put that shot up. We're going to again see surrounded by Selwyn defense. Hang time on that as well. He was just floating up there waiting for it. It's beautiful to see. Back to a one-point game.
His one was really good. Yeah. And your one. The camera, bro. Oh no, we're actually
E kite ana, e whakarite ana ngā tima.
And so as the disc returns to the field, and Darlin to initiate from the near sideline. That lane right up along the sideline is shut off to him until he bends the disc around.
Yeah, ka rawe hoki. Again, going back to having that support on the base there.
Yeah, like it looked like Jones might have been the intended receiver there, but as the disc goes a little longer, Van was right there at the back of the end zone, ready to pull that one back in. We'll see one more time. Defense doing a great job particularly in those early stages of stopping it going down that sideline.
Tāhua.
Tū Miki. Wow. So Selwyn now up by 2 again.
Kei te wānanga ngā tima e rua e hāngai ana ki taua āhua, te āhua o te waiwai, me te rārangi. Looks like they're just having a bit of discussion about the foot placement, man's foot placement in the end zone.
Looks like the point is still going to stand though, but sometimes it can be useful to have those kind of conversations as well. Just to, hey guys, we let that one go, but just maybe here's something we want you to watch out for. I think one of the benefits of having a game like Ultimate, where it is self-officiated, is it creates those opportunities for teams to communicate with each other and say, hey, here's the letter of the rules, here's the spirit of the rules, and we just want to make sure that those are sort of aligned. Here's something that we've noticed. Maybe there's a little bit too much sort of shoulder contact in some of these plays, and some of our guys aren't comfortable with it. And then it gives the other team an opportunity to kind of dial it back and recalibrate. Oh, beautiful reception on that one. Some nice quick give goes from Wellington College to start everything moving. Big hammer.
Pass. Oh.
Great attempt to get underneath it.
Selwyn now bringing it down field. A tāhua te oma mai te kaitākuro o Wellington College. Great run there from Wellington College.
Ulavan to Van for Selwyn as they come back the other way, finding Jenkins, jumping that in, but he said it's not going to be in yet. Hops over the top for Van's second score back-to-back.
Yes.
So sounds like a timeout has been called. So this game being relatively even in the early stages, and now Selwyn cracking through a few on the bounce back-to-back. It's time to call a timeout and figure, hey, what do we have to do to stop their momentum? Where are our turnovers coming from? Are we maybe a little bit unfocused because it's towards the end of the day? Is it to do with the rain? Are we just not communicating as well? There are the kinds of changes that you want to make in these huddles to try and keep it a nice close game. Selwyn, on the other hand, right, up by 3, so they've probably got a little bit of cause to celebrate. Ciccone, I know you're relatively new to Ultimate, but have you sort of got any insights? What do you think these teams might be talking about in the huddles?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think maybe Selwyn College, since they're up, they could be talking more about, how do we keep this momentum going throughout the game. They've still got 2 more points until halftime. So how do they keep bringing this energy and also sustaining it throughout the entire game, whether they make 15 points or whether they meet the time cap as well?
Absolutely. I mean, because it's not just the next 2 points, it's the next 2 points and then the next half. And if Wellington College managed to start staging a comeback and they start stringing points together, then Selwyn, who are working hard on defense but aren't having anything to show for it, they still have to turn around on offense and keep working hard.
So, sure.
Yeah, energy management, I think, is a really, really good point. And not just energy, but also like mood and intensity, right? Yeah, cool. Energy's a little subdued. I think there's probably just like 1 or 2 voices really leading the conversation in that huddle at the moment. Everyone else kind of listening, just finding whatever their own point of focus needs to be. Wellington College, on the other hand, already have 5 on the line ready to go, which is they're clearly pretty hungry for whatever comes next.
Ka rawa taua karanga mai te kareti o Selwyn. Very strong chant there from Selwyn College. Ko rātou hoki ka whiu I tēnei te ripirere kia tīmata te kēmu. They're going to start us off, the game off for us for this next play.
Great move from Boulevard. Now we're seeing Wellington College do a lot of signalling. They've got 3 players back to work through their handler space, maybe a little bit more sort of support to keep the disc moving. Selwyn College able to get it off them.
Rawe ngā mahi ara I konei mai Wellington College, great defensive pressure here.
Boulevard finds McIver.
Body on the line. Ka Rawe. Beautiful maka there.
Rosier to Caffrey for the score on that one to take them 1 away from half. We'll see that again. Rosier. Great composure through that contact, managed to hold on, and then puts the blade up nice and high, but Caffrey's going to be the one who comes down with it. So we're seeing these Wellington College players not overly physical, but they're definitely using their bodies as part of their defensive arsenal, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Getting close enough, not to the point where they're necessarily initiating contact, but just kind of recognizing, hey, I've got space and I'm entitled to it, and they hold that space and they use it well in terms of creating and maintaining their position on the field.
I know we want to.
Repeatedly going out of touch there.
Let's go, Nathan. Nice cut, man. Do the reset there. Nice. Give them a long option.
Rawe ngā mahi konei mai ngā tīma e rua. Great work here from both teams.
Aram for Wellington College. Nice little sneak through. Jones can't get a sniff of it. Works the disc back to Maram, puts a big shot up. Jenkins with a touch. Gonna add that little wobble, is gonna push it out of bounds and give the disc back to Selwyn. Simons finds Van Dalen in the midfield.
Pai te whakamai te whira katoa hoki. Great use of the field here. And
Jenkins to Van yet again.
easy entry into the end zone.
And again, as you've mentioned a few times, it's about that importance of having backup, right? We could see the flight path of that disc. We'll see it here. Simons throws it. It's a little high. Jenkins has to take a second to read. Van just continues all the way through. A little cheeky point.
Yeah.
Pop it to me. Jumped in. Nice and easy score. And that is going.
In Kareko on a Kaiara hoki, he didn't even have a defender on him.
So it looks like that's actually going to be our half time. But I'm not sure if the players are aware of it yet. You guys taking a half?
Half. Hey. Half time. Ask the coach. Liam, ask the coach if he wants it.
So even though we've hit that 8-point score, and we're at half time. Okay, very good. Just getting confirmation from both coaches that they are aware and are planning on taking the half time. Normally it'd be a bit of a non-negotiable, but it looks like they're going to be playing through.
Playing.
Fantastic work by them.
Awesome.
Ordinarily be a non-negotiable, you would just take a half, but I think it being a secondary school tournament and it's hitting pretty close to the end of the day.
They just want to keep going.
Yeah,
Just want to see it to the end.
They don't want to let the fires cool down in those engines. Nice early give goes to keep the disc moving from Wellington.
Ka rawe ngā mahi konei.
Hits
Rawe
with
te
the steal.
haukoti. Yes, beautiful intercept there.
Oh, there was a touch on that one.
Awesome hands there. Me taua haukoti hoki.
And that really is what it's about. It's about attacking through.
Ka rawe. Beautiful.
Oh, that was a fantastic take. Wellington to push it back. It's a 4-point game, 8-4 to Selwyn College. See that again? It's the run through.
Clean intercept.
That's exactly it. Quite often, players can kind of fall into the trap of, yeah, no, I know I've got a couple of steps on my defender. I'm here, I'm ready. And they see where the disc is coming through. And because they've chosen to slow down, the defender doesn't have to.
Yeah.
The defender just has to move through that line, and often that's going to be enough. And fantastic work to then quick pick up and put through.
Quick.
Nicely jumped in.
Quick getting on offense as well after being on defense.
Yeah, just making that mental switch, right?
Yes.
Hey, we don't have to play defense. We're ready to go. Let's get a touchdown out of bounds. No, fading just
stays
back in. Ooh.
Rawe te kume.
Nice quick centering pass. Finds MacIver, puts a big shot up, looking for Caffrey, gets him.
Uh-oh.
Love the commitment there from Caffrey. He's okay, folks. Rosier to MacIver.
Big open space there for Caffrey.
Boulevard
Ka
over the
rawe.
top. Rosier for the score for Selwyn as they go to 9 over Wellington College's 4.
Rawe ngā mahi o te tima Selwyn I konei. Me taua whiu hoki. Nice little casual pass there over the shoulder. Ataua.
Just pulled down by Rosier right on the edge of that far sideline. Bartlett for Wellington College in the midfield, marked by Jones. Hoping something develops for him. He winds up the hammer and puts it. Looking for Marum. Oh, Marum nearly had that. Van Dalen just getting in touch. Van with a laser beam right through.
Miharo.
How did that happen? Just almost flipped it back up into his own hands. Dylan Jones for Selwyn College with the score.
Kia tiro ake anō ki taua tākaro.
And takes it.
Yes.
Laser show.
Awesome.
Great work by Selwyn College. And sometimes what it comes down to is the best laid plans just don't come off, and then it's about adapting. It's about those reflexes that make a difference, right?
Taho, yes, 100%. Tino pai.
That was a beautiful reception there. All right, Selwyn College having shattered the double-digit barrier now, 10-4 over Wellington College. Van with the disc for the pull for Selwyn. Big forehand with a late turnover. It's going to be fielded nicely by Bartlett, hoping to get some quick give-go movement going.
Yes, nice short play here, short sharp.
The big thing with that is that while the defense is scrambling to get down, if you've got players who are constantly changing position on the field, I think there may or may not be a call. Yes, definitely a call on that one. So whether or not, what impact the contact had on the play, I think Marin was pretty confident that he was going to be able to receive that. Maybe a little bit of shoulder contact or possibly some contact with the arms. So Marin is going to retain possession of the disc for Wellington College.
Nice little pass there.
Great break there. High, up over top. Eaten up by Van.
Aye. Just under 15 minutes left to go. For tēnei kēmu.
Van really is everywhere.
Rawe te ara I konei mai o Wellington. Me tōna hopukina, awesome catch there from Van. So casual with it as well. Me te aukoti mai o Wellington.
Great work by Coppin on the block there. Rosier applying pressure on the mark, closing down a lot of those windows. Tries for a foot block. Simons has it to initiate, hoping to start something off. Finds Jenkins, can't get him in the end zone. What's next? Van again.
Ka rawe hoki. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think he might be breaking a couple of rules by having two of the same player on the field at the same time, considering we've seen him in the midfield. 2 seconds later, he's in the end zone. But Selwyn College going up to 11, 4 points away from a win if Wellington College cannot stop the bleed.
Great defensive pressure there though from Wellington.
Oh yeah, they had him covered. He
Yes.
just somehow managed to come down with it. Rosier.
Pai te whiu.
Big shots up.
Ahua kotiti ana te ripirere a little bit. Probably not the pass that he was wanting to go for.
Simons with the disc now, trying to get a bite out of the defense, finds Caffrey.
Looking for a reset. Oh yes, Tyler. Now clear, Tyler, clear.
Rawe ngā mahi ārai mai o Wellington. Great defensive pressure there from Wellington.
Double checking, making sure there's no contact on that one. Looks to have been clean. Wellington College to pick up. Only a sort of 15 or so meters for them to close out this point.
Again, nice defensive pressure from Selwyn. Koia ngā hua e te iwi.
Be a little bit impatient on that throw, but I understand it. You've got the momentum, you've got the turnover relatively close to the end zone. You want to finish it out, you want to do the right thing by your teammates. Jones gets it from Simons. Nice quick reset. Jenkins there available as an option. Simons pushes towards the far sideline. Rosier in a good position, but not the best position to be able to pull that one down.
No, not the mark.
Nice big space there. Ki wāngai te whira.
Selwyn players not necessarily getting a hand on the block, but just making sure bodies are in the way of those throwing channels, closing those windows for Wellington College, applying that pressure.
Beautiful
Rosier
take there.
Yeah, Rosier to Simons, pushes long, over the top of Caffrey, which I didn't think I'd say today. Cobbin for Wellington College, but Rosier with the Oakley offloads to Caffrey, who puts it up nice and high.
Oh, te pātata hoki, engari koe a te hua o ngā mahi ārai o Wellington.
Back to possession, going back to Selwyn College now. Jenkins wanting to finish. Finds the hands of Simons for the score to take them within 3 of finishing the game. With about 9 minutes, 8.5 minutes left on the clock.
Ka pai te tare ana kia whakariterite te tima o Wellington. Kei te kōrero tā rātou kai whakahaere ki te tima. Wellington's coach is having a brief chat to their team.
Right, long kume. Finds Marum and Bartlett working early.
Rawe te haukoti.
A little bit of miscommunication there. McIver gets a touch. Boulevard tries to put one up and over the top.
Let's go, Dobson.
Bartlett under pressure, tries to put something up with a little bit of height, comes out a little bladey. It's going to give Selwyn an opportunity. Boulevard not too far from the end zone.
Rawe ngā mahi o mau mai konei. Te wawahi, te whira, ka rawe hoki.
McIver to Van Dalen to Jones to put that one away. Selwyn College now te Kaumatoru. 2 points away from a win.
Ai, rua noi ho ngā piro e toi ana, only 2 points left for the win for Selwyn.
Or
Ka pai te
11.
wā, yeah,
Or
or...
could be 11.
Yeah, true. Ka tēnā pia ka pai te wā, maybe the time will run out before either team reaches 15.
Exactly, and I mean, if that's the case, we'll do the same thing as we did last time, where we finish the point being played, and then it's a flat race. So even though we've got that soft cap in place, there's still a chance Wellington might be able to pull this one back. Selwyn College to come out on defense.
Ne ke atu I te 5 minutes e toi mai ana, almost just over 5 minutes left in this game.
Van closing in, applying pressure to Bartlett, who puts the big hammer up. Touched down by Boulevard, who's not going to let it go any further. This is what Selwyn College want. Finds the captain, Ollie Pitts, alone in the upfield.
Rawe ngā mahi ara I konei. E whakakōpā nei ngā kaitākaro.
Oh, despite a great defensive attempt by Wellington College, that's going to put Boulevard in the end zone with the score. And 1 point away from a Selwyn College victory. Be fantastic to see either of these teams walk away with a win. We've already seen Selwyn College on stream earlier today, and so them getting a second attempt, a little bit of redemption for themselves on stream to finish the day would probably be a little bit sweeter for them. We'll see if that's enough incentive for them to keep this last point nice and clean, come out with the same aggression they started the game with, whether or not that might be enough to kind of lull them into letting the foot up off the gas and allowing Wellington an opportunity for a big comeback.
No reira, ko tahi piro e toi ana, one more point before the time runs out. Will they make it? Aku nei ka kite tātou. Soon we will see.
Looks like it's going to be Caffrey with the disc to pull for Selwyn College. We're seeing the signal for readiness from Wellington College. It'll be Pitts with the disc to start things off. Big Kume all the way down to the end zone.
Nice, still in touch. Rawe te ara I konei mai Selwyn. Great defensive pressure here from Selwyn.
A little bit of a slip. Just take a second to re-establish his pivot foot before he can continue play. Mason with the disc, marked by Van Dalen. Pushing towards that far sideline.
Ka pai te hopu I te ripirere. Great catch there.
Tries to finish it off and manages it.
Ka rawe. Kua whai piro anō, no reira, rimua piro kia Wellington, te kaumā 5 piro kia Selwyn. 5 points to Wellington and 14 to Selwyn.
Now Selwyn College get to come out on offense. They receive the disc. They do not have to play defense in order to get it. If they can keep a clean hold here, they will put the game away. I think regardless of the time, we're playing a game to 15. So Selwyn have an opportunity to finish things out right now, or with enough pressure from Wellington College, you might get a little bit more ultimate on your screens before the day is done.
Rawe te titiro hoki o ngā ienei kaitākoro. Great vision there between those two players.
Sun starting to brighten up, making things a little difficult for some of our players to see. You can see them shielding their eyes. Selwyn in particular now playing into the sun, which might have an impact, especially if players are having to turn and get a good read on the disc. He puts it up, he's got two, he's got Van Dalen.
Oh, engari, ka haukotingia te ripirere e Wellington. Wellington get that intercept.
Mason goes to ground, but it's not going to be enough. Pitts could finish it. The big hammer fake. He's trying to shift the defense to open something up. Puts the hammer up anyway.
Right, oh.
Caffrey
Almost.
and Jenkins through the both of them. Finds Mason near sideline. Chips back around behind the overcommitted Van Dalen, pushing through. Finds Coles.
Ahua kōtiti te rawhiu.
Think there may have been a little bit of a touch on that, enough for it to come back through. Now they could have brought that disc up to where it actually left the playing field. They didn't have to bring it straight back parallel.
Rawe te hopu mai a Pitts.
Huge commitment from Pitts as he puts the big shot up. Double coverage.
Oh,
Is going to be
so
enough.
close.
Wellington really are adamant that Van is not going to get that disc. We'll see if it pays off for them. Mason puts a big shot up. Looking for Macaulay.
Ooh.
Pitts gets up underneath it. Helps him to his feet. That's a decent display of sportsmanship
Yes.
right there.
Katsuka hooky.
All smiles from these gentlemen. Finds Van Dalen.
Awesome take there from Caffrey.
Close to finishing it off. Pitts getting involved. Manages to shake his defense. Operating in their own half now. And Dalen
yeah.
over Mason. Somehow Mason had great read and position on that one. Finds Van. Mason secures it off the fingertips of Pitts, but Mason's there to make sure Van Dalen can't get a look in.
E ki tēnei tātou e tino kahana ngā mahi ārai o Wellington. Ki te wāhi whakamutunga, you can see the defensive pressure of Wellington in the end zone.
Coppins with a phenomenal chase behind it. It's not going to be enough. Now we're starting to stretch this point out. We're starting to make it long. The fatigue is starting to get it cut in. So some of those cuts aren't as sharp as they would be. Some of the throws aren't as precise as we want them to be. And it's about the team's ability to adjust, to recognize what the teammates are giving them in terms of throws, in terms of cuts, and how to reward those appropriately. And Dalen puts one up far sideline looking for Pitts. Can he finish it off? Not yet.
Yeah, Cole, kare anō.
Great read by Coles to get in the way. Mason wants to finish this off. Looks for Coles instead. Macaulay deep in the end zone, but marked down by Pitts. Might not be an option. Decides to put the hammer up anyway.
Tino whātata almost had it there.
As we've said, sometimes on defense, all you have to do is go early,
Yep.
and that looks to be working in Selwyn College's favor. They do have a long field ahead of them. Are they going to try and do this with a quick 1-2, or are they going to have to string together a few more passes to make it a safe final point for the game? Good work finding Van on the far sideline to Pitts. Van Dalen, not really an option just at the moment, a little too static in the end zone.
Rawe te hopu, I kona mai o Selwyn. Great catch there. Mēnei mahi ārai hoki. Really putting the pressure on the Selwyn.
Van Dalen with a quick little chop step through the front corner of the end zone to put that one away. That is going to be Teko Marima for Selwyn, hitting that 15 points against Wellington College's Rima. 15-5, a great win there for Selwyn College. A fantastic performance despite the rain for Wellington College. Definitely not the match they were planning on playing this wonderful afternoon, but that is going to bring us to the end of the first day of coverage of the Aotearoa Secondary Schools Ultimate Championships here in beautiful, increasingly sunny Taupō. My name is Blair Munro.
Koshikaini akarai tōna tōku ingoa.
And we are supported by a number of people who have helped to make this event possible. Not only our team here at Ulti TV, who are doing their absolute best to bring streaming coverage of the best sport in the world to your screens, but also Whakaata Māori and our other sponsors as well, Bailey's Real Estate, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Apollo Projects and Caltex. Okay, but if you want to make sure that your engine stays running, tune in with us tomorrow. It's going to be another fantastic day. We've moved out of pool play into our brackets. We're going to start to see possibly some more and more intense matchups. Teams who have fought their way into the upper seeds of their pools, who have used their athleticism, their strength, their speed, their knowledge, and maybe a little bit of luck to claw out some victories on day one. We're going to see how that carries over for them for day two. But until then, hope you join us tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.
Ka whai, ka ki te iwi.
Fifty.tv.